Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander, and this is the third matchup of my Spider-Man decks, testing them out, seeing what their flaws are, playing a full game with them by myself. Thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe to the channel, throw some likes, all that garbage, you know the drill. I've played these games in real life, or these decks rather, against actual people so far. They've done okay. They need a few tweaks, but playing them like this really helps to show where they may be flawed and where they can be improved upon. Hopefully you guys get to see my mistakes and get better yourselves, get some good ideas, and build your own decks in really cool ways. We've already done the first 4 turns, as always, to just kind of skip a bunch of stuff. I will go over what was played during those times as we get to each deck. We are starting turn 5 over here on Dr. Octopus Master Planner. We played lands, and we played a bunch of Mana Rock Ramp, which is really good for this deck because he is a 7-drop, so it's incredibly hard to get him out earlier than turn 7. But we got a Darksteel Ignite, Arcane Signet, Patchwork Banner declaring villains, so now villains get +1/+1, and it taps for 1 of any color. And finally, last turn, we were able to play Prowler Clawed Thief, a 2/3 with Menace that says when another villain you control enters, Prowler connives, which means you draw a card and discard a card. If it's a non-land card, the Prowler will get a +1/+1 counter on it. So we untap, upkeep, draw for turn. We have enough, so we're going to tap all of our mana to play Dr. Octopus Master Planner. A 4/8. Other villains you control get +2/+2. Your maximum hand size is now 8. And at the beginning of your end step, if you have fewer than 8 cards, you draw the difference, basically drawing up to 8 cards. It's a great card draw engine, really helps this deck once he's out. So let's see if he can pull off a win with this kind of stuff. So right now that means the Prowler is a 4/5 with Menace, so we can go at either one of these 2 characters and get through. That side of the table has won the first 2 games, so that doesn't mean anything. You're not supposed to hold grudges or use past games as an indicator, other than you now know what your opponent's decks are capable of. So when you see what's on the field, you can decide, well, I know that deck is going to go crazy and you've already got a bunch of board state. We're going to go after you, something like that. I'm going to send the Prowler at... Actually, I'm going to send it at you. You've done really well both games early on, so you're going to take 4 damage. But before that, So when I play Dr. Octopus, he connives. So I'm going to draw a card, and then I have to discard something. I'm going to discard Spider Slayer, Hatred Honed, rather. So that'll put a counter on Prowler. So now I will swing, so he's a 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 damage at you, you can't block it because he has Menace. Down to 35, gonna pass turn. I hope everyone's having a good day out there. Appreciate you stopping by. We untap over here, upkeep, draw. I'll play a Forest for turn. And over here, we have played Silk, the Web Weaver, the commander. A 3/5 that says whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 green and white human creature token, and then pay 5 mana. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain vigilance until the end of turn. We played an Idol of Oblivion on turn 2 that says you can draw a card by tapping it, but only if you created a token this turn. You can pay 8 and tap it to sacrifice the idol to create a 10/10 Eldrazi creature token. And we played Caretaker's Talent, an enchantment that says whenever 1 or more tokens you control enter, draw a card. It happens only once per turn, and then you can level it up to different abilities. So what I'm going to do is tap 2 to play the Selfless Police Captain. It's a 1/1. This creature enters with a 1/1 counter on it. Not sure why they didn't just say it was a 2/2, but whatever. When this creature leaves the battlefield, put its counter on target creature you control. So I mean, okay, that's why, but it's still kind of silly to just make it a 2/2 for 2. I don't understand. That ability doesn't... I get it for the selfless thing, I suppose. That's what they're going for, but whatever. I did make a token, so I get to draw a card. And I can tap to draw a card because I made a token. Finally, I'm going to tap 3 and play Kadama's Reach to go get a basic forest and a basic plain. 1 on the battlefield, 1 into my hand. We'll put the forest onto the battlefield. We could swing with Silk, but she's only a 3/5. She's not really going to get through anywhere. So we're just going to hold back. Oh, sorry, I forgot. When I came in, I made the human citizen token, which is how I was able to draw off the Idol of Oblivion. Did that slightly out of order, but whatever. We have 3 creatures. That's a good start. We're going to pass turn. Over here to Cosmic Spider-Man, or as I like to say, Captain Universe Spider-Man, which is technically what he should be called. We're going to untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to play another mountain. Unfortunately, we are missing a color, at least spread across properly. we were able to play a Soul Ring and the Mass Meowler, which is a 1/1 hasty creature, and then Aranya, Heart of the Spider, which is a 3/3. Whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. When a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. You know what? Just in case, I'm going to not play that mountain, because if we do this right and the top card is a swamp, we need to be able to play that. Although, even with, if we use their interactions, that's going to make the Mass Meowler a 2/2. It's not really going to get through anywhere, and it can easily be killed. So there's not really a point in swinging at this point. So no, I'm just going to play the mountain for turn. But I could actually do something else. Hang on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got enough. Web Warriors. They're 4/3. When this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Each other creature. So that helps a little bit. I mean, obviously you want to kind of do that when you have a lot of creatures out. It is in that deck for specifically because it's great for token decks, but that's all right. We're gonna have to try and beef these up. And oh look, I did that out of turn order properly, because we're gonna tap 2 and play Spider's Man, Heroic Horde. It's a 2/3. I'm not doing its web sling ability, and so the rest of the text box only applies if you do the web sling ability, so it's irrelevant. I almost will never do that, especially early game, because it's a 2-drop, 2/3. Why wouldn't I try to get that out early, just for blocking and stuff? Just because I think, especially early game, I think most people would be like, yeah, go ahead and do it the other way around. It depends on how the game night has gone on, you know, how everyone's feeling. If everyone's still having fun, they'll be like, yeah, you should just play that the right way. And I'm going a little faster than I should be, to be honest. I'm recording these back to back, and so I'm kind of like, oh, just burn through them. I need to take a breather and stop and look at my cards properly. So I would have played Spider's Man first, then Web Warriors, so that it has the counter on it. I'm still not going to attack. Well, now that I've done that, I guess I could. But I already played the land, and the whole point was to... And I wouldn't have been able to play everything if I didn't play the land. So we're going to let the thing stand and pass turn. Cosmic Spider-Man deck is not performing quite as well as I would have liked as the way it tested on Moxfield, simply because I end up getting screwed out of like one of the colors. So I'm not hitting the land. I'm not getting the commander out on turn 5 like I should. And then I'm not getting a lot of creatures. This time I'm doing pretty decent. But past games you've seen, it's not till the end of the game before I start dropping 2 or 3 creatures. And I'm going to have to reevaluate the number of enchantments and sorceries and instants in the deck and kind of... But I'm not going to put creatures in that aren't part of the Spider-Man set. That deck is supposed to be locked into just the Spider-Man set with a few minor tweaks to it, like the land base and stuff. And even then, very, very few. But we come over here to the Iron Spider. We untap, upkeep, and draw for turn. Over here, we were able to play a Seer's Lantern early, then Thran Dynamo and tap Thran Dynamo last turn for Iron Spider. Stark Upgrade. It's a 2/3 with Vigilance. You tap it to put a counter, a +1/+1 counter on each creature and vehicle you control, as long as it's an artifact creature. And then pay 2 to remove 2 counters from among artifact creatures you control, or artifacts you control, and then draw a card. I'm going to play the Terramorphic Expanse, crack it for a waste, and then put that on the battlefield tapped. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. To play the vehicle Knight Paladin. It's a 6/6 with Trample. When Knight Paladin enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to each opponent and has a crew of 1. Then with my last 2, I will tap it for a Plague Mirror. A 1/1 artifact mirror that has Infect, and you can tap it to add 1 to your mana pool. I will then tap Iron Spider to put a +1/+1 counter on each artifact creature and or vehicle I control. I'm not going to worry about doing anything else. We will pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to play Dismal Backwater. When that land enters, I'm going to gain a life. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oops, this untaps to play Chameleon Master of Disguise. It's a 2/3. You may have the Chameleon enter as a copy of creature you control, except his name is still the Chameleon Master of Disguise. So first of all, when another villain you control enters, the Prowler connives. So I draw a card, then I have to discard a card. I'm going to discard Venom Evil Unleashed, so he will get a counter. And then I will have the Chameleon come in as a copy of Dr. Octopus Master Planner. So that means he also gives other villains +2/+2. So now all of my villains are getting plus... Dr. Octopus is getting +2/+2, and the others are basically getting +4/+4. I have 3 mana left, but that's not enough to do anything. And I believe I may have forgotten Dr. Octopus's ability on my end step before. Sorry, the people outside are mowing the lawn, so super happy. But whatever. So we can move to combat with these two. I don't really know if there's any advantageous attacks just yet, because everyone's got a fair amount of creatures out there, low power-ish, but we don't want to risk things just yet. So I will move to my end step, and I have 2 cards in hand. That means I get to draw 6. Now that's the main biggest draw of Dr. Octopus Master Planner, is that end step draw up to 8 cards. I can't keep forgetting that. And more importantly, that's a huge win in terms of card advantage and being able to do stuff. So we want to make sure that gets remembered. We're going to pass turn. So untap over here, upkeep, draw for turn, play a plains. Going to tap 4 to harmonize. Draw 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. I will then tap 3 to play Silver Sable, Mercenary Leader. On cast, I get to make another human token. When she enters, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature. I will put that on Silk herself, so she is now at 4/6. Whenever Silver Sable attacks target modified creature you control, gains a lifelink until end of turn. That could be a huge help. Okay, thankfully I just now have 7 cards in hand. I don't have to discard down. Now, if I would like to use the Idol of Oblivion and draw a card, but you know what, I can. I got 3 lands in hand. I can dump one of them if I need to. And I made it to token so I can use Idol of Oblivion's ability to draw a card. That is good, so I will discard down by discarding that forest. I was not going to attack. That's why I moved through phases. We will then pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Well, the card on top was not a land, and it certainly wasn't a swamp. We do not have the right colors to do anything in our hand, basically. So I'm going to have to try and see, again, there's no good attacks, so Meowler's going to die, but we're going to see, he has to deal damage to a player to even do that. Yeah, we're not getting through anywhere. Well, that's regrettable. We're going to pass turn. That's like my favorite deck out of the 4 is the Cosmic Spider-Man, and of course it's the one that does the worst. And I get it. It's built just solely off of that set, and that's always difficult. Even if it was like, you know, you can say what you want about the set, and I don't agree that it's that bad. It's not as power crept as a lot of the most recent sets have been, but it's not a bad set. But even if you did, you know, Bloomborough or freaking whatever, Foundations even, if you build a deck that's just purely from that set, it's not going to be as good as something that's built from all Magic cards, because there's always going to be something else that's a better swap out for some things. Not all of them. I'm not saying a Foundations deck isn't going to be good, because of course it will be, especially since that's more of a core set anyway, so it's meant to be balanced. But there's going to be cards like, oh, well, this wasn't in the set, but it'll be way better in this particular deck. That's just how, you know, it works. There's ways to optimize. If I'm not going outside of the Spider-Man set, it's going to be harder to optimize the deck and make it function faster. So we will untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to play a Margonda Raceway. So it has start your engines, so my speed counter is now 1. I don't really have one of those right now, so whatever. Going to tap 4 to play Jorah's Familiar. A flying 2/2, but it says historic spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Artifacts are historic spells. So then I can tap 3 to cast a 4-drop, Unwinding Clock. Untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. And finally, I can tap 2 for a 3-drop, the News Helicopter. A flying 1/1. When this enters, create a 1/1 green and white human citizen token. We'll just borrow one of them and put this over there to show that we have 2 of them over there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tap the Iron Spider to give everybody that is an artifact or a vehicle a counter. Artifact creature. That is 1, not 2. And the nice thing is I can tap the human to crew the Knight Paladin, which is now an 8/8 with trample, and swing that somewhere. However, everyone's doing pretty good about buffing their creatures and having creatures out. This is a game where it's going to be a very slogfest if I don't get some good... If somebody doesn't start to go ahead of somebody else. It's going to be tricky because there's no good attacks right now for any one singular creature. If I'm able to swing a board at someone, then maybe I'd get through, but then I would be completely vulnerable. And the 2 flyers, of course, are Summoning Sickness. So I'm just going to have to pass turn. Untap over here, upkeep, draw for turn. I do have to remember that Patchwork Banner is giving my villains +1/+1 as well. I will tap 3 for Commander Sphere. This time round, the Dr. Octopus deck is ramping like a champ. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 for Venomized Cat. 2, 3 with Death Touch. When this creature enters, mill 2 cards. So I can stack those. So we're going to draw a card off of the thing. I should have looked at it before I said that. And then mill 2 cards. But I do have to discard, before I even do that. We'll discard that. Then I would have milled the cards. So I have 3 mana. Unfortunately, that still is not enough. Even with all this ramp, it's not enough to cast any of the other creatures in my hand. They are 4 drops. So right now, but I did discard a non-land, so the Prowler would have gotten a counter from that connive. So right now, the Prowler is getting +5/+5 from boosts. 2 from the Dr. Octopuses and 1 from the Patchwork. Well, 4 from them. 1 from the Patchwork banner. So it is a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with Menace. That's pretty good. These 2 are getting +3/+3, and then this Venomized Cat is getting a +5 as well. So it is a 7, 8 Death Touch. I'm tempted to swing the Prowler somewhere because it'll force 2 creatures to block, but still, everybody's getting some decent blocks. Now, as it stands, Villains is still shaping up. If I can play a couple more Villains next turn and then keep them around, the turn after that, I should be able to swing with a lot of damage and start taking out players because they will all be getting that +5/+5 boost from the static buffs, and then there'll be enough of them to outnumber and also just get through. But we're going to pass turn. It's tricky trying to outrun the token deck. So I'm going to untap over here, draw for turn, play a forest for turn. All right, I'm going to play White Sun Zenith for 5, putting 5 2/2 cat tokens onto the battlefield, and then shuffle White Sun Zenith into the owner's library. Okay, we're poised to do something pretty cool next turn now. That's going to super help us. And I think, for the most part, it looks like Sailk might be able to pull it out. Well, there's a lot of blockers, so we're going to see. She'll be able to swing for a lot of damage next turn. That doesn't necessarily mean that she'll be able to get through. We'll see. We're going to pass turn because no one's got flying, no one's got anything evasively. We did make a token, though, so we will tap that to draw a card up to 7, so we don't have to discard down. Ooh, if we wait 2 more turns, we can do some really cool fun stuff. So it's one of those things where it's like, in a real game, biding your time and trying to build and build and build just makes you an obvious target and, invites board wipes and invites removal and stuff. So it's a tricky thing to do. Gonna draw over here. Hey, look at that, a swamp. So we've got green, red, black, white, and blue. Cosmic Spider-Man. He is a flying first strike, trample, lifelink, haste, 5/5, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, you give all of other spiders those keywords. But here's the thing, there's no real buffs going on. We got the buff from the Web Warriors coming in, so that's it. But this is a 2/2, this is a 4/4, this is a 3/4, this is a 4/3, and a 5/5. That is not a crazy amount of damage. And even with the life gain, if I swung out, because they now all have haste and everything, right? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's only 18. That's a good chunk, obviously, but that would leave us wide open for this crackback and, all the crackbacks. It's not a smart move to just go sending everybody. However, you don't want to give up or throw away that lifelink. So we will attack with the Cosmic Spider-Man, the commander himself. And we were going to attack you because you do have a crazy big board state right now. You are also a threat, and no one has flyers. You do. Actually, you do have 2 flyers. So we need to be cognizant of that. But I'm trying to realize that I don't know what this person has in their hand. But still, they have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 creatures in a token deck. They're going to, and this is green and white. I want to eventually have a Moonshaker Cavalry in here. I just don't own the card. But there's a Crater Hoof in here, and it's in my hand. Spoiler alert. So yeah, that's the goal with this, is to drop one of those big things, or an overrun, or an overwhelming stampede, just to give trample and a boost to them. So that's obvious. It's not a surprise attack with a token deck. Everyone knows what's coming. So we're swinging it over here. All right. They have 5 commander damage from us, and they're down to 26 life. We have 3 mana up, but nothing that we can do with the right colors. We're going to go ahead and pass turn. Oh, but I do gain 5 life. Okay, we're going to come over here. We're going to untap. And technically all of those should have been untapped anyway because of the unwinding clock, but that's all right. We weren't swinging into it, so at least that particular round it didn't matter too much. I'm going to tap the Thran Dynamo for a Canoptic Wraith. Trying to figure out how to place all these things so they make sense on the board. It is a 2/1 that can't be blocked. When it deals combat damage, you can pay 2 and sacrifice it to do stuff that will almost never happen because the idea is just that, oh, good, it can be unblocked. It's unblockable. I can just keep pumping it with Iron Spider and get damage through. Going to tap 2 to play Guidelight Matrix. When this artifact enters, draw a card. Then pay 2 and tap it. Target mount you control becomes unsettled until end of turn, or pay 2 and tap it. Target vehicle you control becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. I don't believe I played a land, so I will play Abstergo Entertainment. It taps for colorless, or you can pay 1 and tap it to add 1 mana of any color. I'm going to go ahead and pay 2 and tap the Guidelight Matrix to make my vehicle a creature until end of turn. I'm also going to pay 2 and tap the Seer's Lantern to scry 1. I don't really need a land right now, so that will go to the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and tap Spider-Man to do the thing. Julie, do the thing. So now Knight Paladin is a 9/9 with trample, and we have a 4/4 flyer and a 3/3 flyer. Jorah's Familiar does make historic spells cost 1 less, so I can have some extra mana up, I think, because of those 2 spells I cast, but I have no cards in hand, so it's not really an issue. Now the nice thing is, with that, because I have that 2 up, and since my artifacts are going to untap on each player's untap step, I could theoretically make the Knight Paladin a creature on someone else's combat at instant speed, because it's just pay 2 and tap it to do that. So I could make it a creature in order to block, which is nice. Although I wasted the mana to make it a creature right now, and then realized that was dumb because where am I going to swing it? Even a 9/9 is crazy. Everybody's got creatures that have enough power and toughness to be concerning, so that no one can really swing in at a decent opening. So yeah, I guess we won't have done that. We'll just say we didn't, because it's kind of dumb to make it a creature for no reason and then not swing with it. So pass turn. Untap over here. Upkeep, draw. I think I missed the thing again. We're going to tap 1 to play the Soul Ring. Going to tap Soul Ring and then 2 blue and then 1 other. For 5 mana to play School Days. Draw 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. Gonna play the Crossroads Village. Enters tap. Choose a color. I'll choose blue. We'll just keep ramping, I guess. We'll tap 3 to play Hot Dog Cart. When it enters, we make a food token. I'll borrow that, please. And then it taps for 1 color of any, or 1 mana of any color. And I will tap 2 to play Merciless Enforcers. A 2/1 lifelink villain. When a villain enters, I get to Prowler Connive, so I draw a card, and then I have to discard a card. I'll discard Unstable Experiment, so it will get a counter since it's a non-land. I have 1 mana up, can't do anything with it. I have to remember to actually draw at my end step. So we've got a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 with Menace. That's great. Nowhere to send it. This is funny that the decks are all doing this in the last game. So we are going to move to end step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Draw up. Pass turn. Okay, we're going to untap over here. Now here's where things get... First of all, draw a card. Make sure there's nothing, crazy. So we're going to play a Plains. I will tap to move this to its 2nd level. So when this class becomes level 2, create a copy of a target token you control. So we'll just make another 2/2 cat. Now we could pay 4 mana to make it its 3rd level, which creature tokens get 2+2/2, which is really good. You know what? I created a token, so I'm going to tap this to draw a card. That's decent. You know what? I can do that, can't I? I have enough. Yes, so we will tap 4 to move this to its 3rd level. Creature tokens get +2/2. So now these are 4/4s, and these are 3/3s. Then I will use my last 4 mana to play Second Harvest. For each token you control, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that permanent. I will then make another 6 cats up to 12 and another 2 citizens up to 4. Now, on my next turn, when I drop Crater Hoof, it should be more than enough to deal to take out the board. Now, whether or not we're going to make it another full rotation, that's what we got to see. But this is blatant. This is a huge red flag. You need to take care of this if people at the table see this. So we're going to pass turn, though. I'm not going to swing. Everyone's like, this is not good. Danger, danger. So we untap over here. We draw for turn. I'm going to tap a red and a black to play Scarlet Spider Cane. A 2/1 with Menace. When Scarlet Spider enters, you may discard a card. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on him. Do I want to do that? I don't know that I do. I don't think it matters. So I'm not going to. But I am going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one of which being blue. Force Spider-Man 2099 Miguel O'Hara is a 4/4. When he enters, return up to one other target creature to its owner's hand. When one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. What do I want to bounce? I mean, I could bounce a token just to lower them. Could bounce, like bouncing the commanders it's first of all, it's just going to their hands so they could easily recast. I think bouncing probably that would be a good target. And it says creatures, so I can't bounce any of the important stuff over here. I could bounce the Prowler and get those counters off of it. Even if I bounced, like any creature you bounce is just going to get recast. It's just a matter of, Silk isn't helping the board state. This is all from token generating spells. I'm not actually casting proper creatures to make the tokens. And over there, if I bounce either one of them, they just get recast. It's not that big a deal. So the buff will come right back on their turn. That particular creature would be summoning 6, but it's not a huge deal. And over here, again, we could get rid of the counters on the Trampley guy, but so we have to do it. We'll bounce Doc Ock because it's expensive cards. You got to spend a lot of mana to recast it. So now we move to the beginning of combat. Everybody on my field now has haste, trample, flying, first strike, and lifelink. So we can get through, but okay, so this is the threat. Here we go. 26 life. That's a thing. Nobody has reached. Let's see what we got. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Oh, just shy. If we swung everything over, they would still have 2 life, and we would gain a lot, sure, but the other characters could try and swing in to finish off, but they got so many blockers. They do have flyers, though, and, I mean, the trample isn't even a concern. It's the freaking news helicopter could actually finish off things. Oh, that sucks so bad, because that would have been amazing to drop the Crater Hoof on next turn. But what did I say? I said it's obvious. It shows that, hey, they're going to do something crazy next turn. They have to. Because right now, all the creature tokens are getting +2/+2. If we just do nothing else except for activate Silk's ability, that means 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means they have 12 6/6s and a bunch of other creatures. So that's quite a lot of damage regardless. However, we will be open, but we're going to gain 20-some life, so we'll be at 60-something. And you got to think about it from the table's perspective, looking at Cosmic Spider-Man. We swing out, show that we can do a massive 24 damage in one hit, gaining 24 life. We'll be completely open. They're going to send the helicopter over here to finish them off, and then everything over here and everything over here, dropping us back down. And yes, we can just continue to keep, swinging theoretically and getting that life back. But unless we are able to play a couple more creatures, it's going to be pretty tricky. And with them drawing a full grip every single turn, they're going to have removal. They do have removal, so it's going to be interesting. Man, I am just not sure. I'm trying not to be like, well, I know what they have in their hand. I'm trying to forget that the Crater Hoof is there. Would I really swing out? Because again, everyone can do the math. 6 times 12, 72 damage? Yeah. So 72 damage, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 4 5s, which would be another 20. Now we're at 92 damage, and then 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 104, 5, 6. 106 total damage on board with with just that. Just activating her ability on my turn. Technically, that's not enough damage to take out everybody, but I mean, it's enough to take out 2 players easily. Well, not easily. They don't have trample, they don't have flying, they don't have menace, so no evasion, so they can be blocked. But regardless, I think we have to try and go for it, right? So we swing the board at Silk. She drops down to 2 life. We jump up to 63. That's all we can do. We're going to pass turn. And of course, this stuff was untapped on upkeeps. I keep forgetting about that. And now, see, here's the thing. And you may have been saying this and yelling it at the screen. Because of Unwinding Clock, that means that everybody's end step, I can tap Iron Spider to put counters on everything, and he untaps again. So I should have been doing that. So everybody should theoretically be a lot bigger. I didn't. We're not going to roll it back that big because that's a big deal. But that's what you should be doing with that kind of situation. You're going to draw for turn, tap 3 to play a Lifecraft Engine. It's a vehicle. As it enters, choose a creature type. We're going to choose Spider. Vehicle creatures you control are those chosen type in addition to their other types. And each creature you control of the chosen type other than this vehicle gets +1/+1. So that just means that this is now a Spider and it's getting a little boost. A little boosty. So yeah, tap Spider to do the thing. I'll just tap the human to, well, again, am I doing that? Yes. I'm going to tap the human to crew the Knight Paladin. We're going to move to combat and basically swing the board as well. This cannot attack because it is a vehicle and I didn't crew it, and it would have summoning sickness even if I did crew it. But everything else is going to be swinging. And yes, I can swing with Spider-Man and then tap it in response to the blockers or blah, blah, blah. I just don't want him. It's fine. So this is going at you, 4 in the air. You don't have reach. There's nothing you can do. Sorry, Silk. You almost had a crazy big win, but we won the first game, I think. So over here we've got 3, 4, 5, 10, 11. Well, so this is 11, then 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 damage at you. Now, something to consider, Plague Mirror does have Infect, so you now have 5 poison counters on you. So regardless of your health, next turn, if I can get that through, you're going to go down. So it means you can't swing out, and if you do swing out, you have to make sure it's lethal. I'm going to move to my end step, pass turn, their upkeep. I'm finally going to just do this now that everyone untaps, except for the human because it's not an artifact. Then over here, we untap. Upkeep, draw, play an island for turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to recast Dr. Octopus Master Planner. Tapping 4 to play Scorpion Seething Striker, a 3/3 death touch. At the beginning of your end step, if your creature died this turn, target creature you control connives. And I have 3, that's enough, to play Symbiote Spawn, a 3/2 that says when this creature dies, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Let's move this back here and this up here. So technically, these 3 have summoning sickness, these 4 do not. Now, the buffs are back. So we've got 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. So everything's starting with a buff of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So if we swung everything over there, we could hit for 17. Now, the problem is Iron Spider. With the whole untapping thing, that should have been going on the entire time, and now I will try and do the Iron Spider tap at end step type of thing. Those creatures are going to get real big real fast, and we're going to be wide open if we try and swing into there. Cosmic Spider-Man is honestly probably the only way to take out Iron Spider. You could theoretically be discussing this at the table for the whole politics aspect of Commander. I don't like politics, period, across, real world or Commander, so I'm not overly concerned about it. I'm not going to do that. And of course I can't do it with myself, so that's irrelevant. But I think I'm going to hold back and try and see what happens, as it were. Let the other players play out as best they can, and we've got good blockers. I'm going to move to my end step. I have 6 cards, so I draw 2 more and pass turn. This poor Silk is done. We untap over here. Oops, that was a 1. Untap, upkeep, draw. What sucks is I have a decent card draw spell, but I need 2 blue and I only have 1 blue. Yeah, we're not drawing what we need. I didn't draw a creature, so I'll tap a white and then 3 others to play Friendly Neighborhood, enchanting this mountain. So when this aura enters, create 3 1/1 citizens. So just let me borrow your citizens, Silk. Sure, I'm dead, jerk. Take what you want. And then the enchanted land has pay 1 and tap it. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. For each creature you control, activate only as a sorcery. That is a cool thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot some stuff. So that's going to affect things. When I attacked, I was supposed to put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. So I would have put it on Cosmic Spider-Man. So, Silk would have actually taken 1 extra damage. They would have been down to like 1 or whatever. However, the important part is when a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile a top card of your library. You may play that card this turn, which means, actually, unfortunately, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 modified creatures, so I would have exiled the Friendly Neighborhood thing, along with Hot Dog Cart, Scarlet Spider Ben Riley, and a Forest. I would not have been able to play any of them, I don't think. So they would just remain in exile. Then this card is what I draw for turn, unfortunately. So I did not make those. So instead, we're looking at tapping a Forest and 3 others to play the enchantment Wall Crawl instead. When this enters, make a 2/2 or 2/1 green spider creature token with reach. Then you gain 1 life for each spider you control. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that would be 8. So I go up to 46. Now, spiders you control get +1/+1 and can't be blocked by creatures with Defender. We'll just say that's the 2/1. I think I have... Actually, wait. Success. I have it right here. Trying to do a shit. It's like, yeah, success. So we got a 2/1 spider right there. So our spiders are getting a buff, which is nice, but I don't think it's enough. And again, we do have flyers up for blocking. So let's see what kind of damage we have. If we full send at you, which is incredibly risky, 5, 6, then that would trigger and we would put it on Cosmic Spider-Man again. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and then 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. 36 damage. Not enough. Now it's enough to kill you, but not enough to kill you. And if we know they have their infect damage coming in. Okay, maybe. Okay, we might be able to pull that off. Okay. You have flyers? You might have a flyer. You have a Death Touch, but that's on the ground. Death Touch, Lifelink, no flyers. Okay, we're gonna move to combat and full swing at you. It seems odd, but we're going to do it. Then we're going to put a counter on there, and then any one of these 3 that connects, or these 4, we're going to do the exile thing again, which is unfortunate. Well, not unfortunate, because we do have 4 mana that we can play. So yeah, 36 damage, there's nothing you can do about it. But why me? They're the danger. I know, but you're villains and I'm superheroes, so suck it. We're now going to gain 36 life. We are up to 82 life. Love it. Then we exile the top 4 cards. Okay, all right. Wow, okay. We can actually play both of those. That's pretty cool. So Ponder and the Forest will remain in exile, but we can play Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy in their small forms. So that worked out real well. When he enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Now, the part of the problem is like, well, if we add more counters to more creatures, then that means more exiling, which is not the best for this deck. It's not built around that. So exiling too many cards is like, well, shit, now we're like losing out on cards. And when she enters, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card for as long as you control her. So it's Thrill of Possibilities. We'll put that down like that. We can theoretically play that next turn. Oh, right. No, I mean, okay. No, I was like, what am I doing? I had a plan. But no, the whole plan was to make blockers anyway. But we now have blockers for the Death Touch, or for the Infect one at least. And with 82 life, we don't care about anything except for the Infect. And I thought I had that marked, but I must have used it for something else. We'll put that there. 5 Infect. I have 2 blockers up. I will pass turn. Again, Cosmic Spider-Man is now doing what he's supposed to do, but it's just a little late. In a real game, he would have been blown up or bounced a million times. It would have been too expensive to recast. I need to get it a little faster, but again, I really can't because I'm self-imposed within the set. So we'll see. Untap over here, upkeep, draw. It's just a waste. I will play that. I will tap the human to crew the Knight Paladin and pay 2 and tap the Guidelight Matrix to crew the Lifecraft Engine. The nice thing about this deck is I can't, with the Unwinding Clock out, I can full swing and it doesn't matter because they will all untap at the next upkeep. So we will do so. We will full swing. Oops, shoot. I think that was just a 1. Well, before that, play your card right. I will tap Iron Spider to increase everything, and then full swing. Obviously, I'm going to go ahead and make Miles Morales block. I will make Gwen block the... no, because that means if she dies, I can't play the Thrill of Possibility, so it has to be Miles. I will make block the Plague Mirror, which will put 6 -1/-1 counters on him, and so he will die. But we don't die from that, and then we're just going to take a bunch of damage. They are going to take 35. Down to 47. We then move to our end step, move to their upkeep, and everything untaps. And I still didn't do the thing I said I was going to do with the Iron Spider, which is problematic because that would have, well, I think maybe we would have had it like one more time. So it would have been an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Sure, we'll just take it. So they're down to 41, we're at 40. So we untap over here, upkeep, draw for turn. Oops, sorry, no, uncap this stuff, draw for turn. Well, this is still in exile. We can play it. I'm going to tap a mountain and a forest and discard future flight to play Thrill of Possibilities from exile, drawing 2 cards. I'm going to play an island for turn, so I get a little bit of mana back. 1, 2, 3, and 4 to play Spider UK. A 3/4 that says at the beginning of your end step, if 2 or more creatures enter the battlefield under your control this turn, you draw a card and gain 2 life. That's not going to be an issue this time, unfortunately, but that's fine. I will then... What's going to be the best idea? Flyer, right? Yeah. I'm going to tap 3 and play Wisecrack. Target creature deals damage equal to its power to itself. Your Jora thingy. Which I've still been forgetting that, artifacts cost less, but that's fine. We haven't really been playing all that many recently. So now there's 1 less flyer. So you do have a flyer that can block, but just the 1. So you're going to block the biggest thing, of course, which is going to be Cosmic Spider-Man. Oh my god, I'm missing so many triggers, guys. Spider-Man 29's ability, whenever one of my creatures deals combat damage to a player, I should draw a card. So we should have more cards. Just 1 or more. So I mean, each combat I should be drawing a card. But there's just I don't know. I'm just kind of like rushing a bit. My mind's elsewhere because I'm wondering how to fix this without going past the spider set. And it's exciting that it's doing the thing now, but this is way late in the game, and it wouldn't be quite doing this in a real setting. But that's all right. Live and learn. That's the point. You got to watch. And the thing is, I'm doing 4 decks. I don't do the 4 decks by myself as often as I used to. So I'm not. When I was at the peak and, doing things right, I was better at it. Now I'm kind of sliding back a little bit and rushing through it and, trying to keep the episodes quicker, and therefore I'm kind of messing up a little bit more. So you'll have to bear with me. My apologies, dear viewer. But all right, we're going to go to combat. We're going to full send. We're going to put another counter on, we'll put a counter on something. Well, hang on a second. We still have the infect to worry about, so let's make sure the full send is actually worth it. Okay, it is. So yeah, we just moved to combat. Everybody gets all the keywords. We full send. We put a counter on Gwen Stacy, and because all of my spiders are getting +1/+1, it's well into the 40s. 46. It's 46 total damage coming at you. You're going, well, that's true. You got the blocker. Shoot. You're going to block the commander. That's going to die. But that is going to take down 46 down to 39. Shoot. I think you've got it. Son of a bitch. Look at that. I have no open mana, so I can't do the thing I was hoping to do the other time. I mean, I guess I should have gotten rid of the infect. That was the stupid thing. But I wanted to get through with the flyers. But yeah, the infect was the threat the entire time. That's just incredibly stupid on my part. Because I'm about to gain 40 life. Their flyer, even if they block 2 things, I still gain the 40 life. There's no way anything. The only thing that matters is the infect. I don't even know if I should roll it back because I'm not thinking about that until now. And this in the real game, at this point, everyone's like, "No, you idiot! You should have done that." It's like, it's too late. It's like it's too far into combat. I played that before combat. You can't go back. So yep, once again, another mess up this game. I apologize, but I just wasn't thinking in that strategic sense. I was just thinking about damage and be like, yeah, whatever, go. So there you go. I get you down to 39. You swing back. You kill me. Congratulations. Iron Spider wins the match. There you have it. I hope you enjoyed watching these episodes. I hope you liked the Spider-Man set and got some cool cards from it. And let me know if you built any Spider-Mans. If you have any suggestions for any of the decks, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to see what you think to improve them, make them a little stronger. I'm not going for CDH at level or anything. I don't play that stuff, but I want my decks to perform consistently and at a reasonable amount of time. I don't want them popping off like this on turn 10 and 11, 12. That's too late. I'd like to see them moving a little faster. This notwithstanding because it's restricted. The rest of them. But I appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time.